I think and I believe we can and we will continue this venture together. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Adam Brooke from the U.S. Embassies. Adams, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Adams. Please go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Adam Brock. I'm a public diplomacy officer at the U.S. Embassy in Hanoi, and it's a privilege and pleasure to launch the sixth cohort of the Advanced Medical English course for fifth and sixth year medical students and healthcare professionals. So thank you to VietMD for the opportunity to be part of this event, and we're very thankful to have this partnership. So welcome to the 124 participants today. You are doctors, technicians, and senior students from hospitals and medical universities from 17 different provinces and cities in Vietnam. And I know many of you have more than 15 and even 20 years of experience in the medical field. So thank you all for being here today, and I commend everyone involved who is trying to advance medical education and communication. Medical English Program is a strategic initiative under the U.S. mission to Vietnam to address critical aspects of global health, diplomacy, education, and collaboration. And it reflects the U.S.'s into fostering a more healthy and interconnected world through education and language proficiency. I'm also glad to see the Medical English Alumni Face Group is expanding, where you are sharing your expertise and creating a supportive learning environment and fostering stronger networks. So it's heartening to know that some of the alumni are now teaching assistants for the current cohort. So please do keep in touch with us after this course is over. This is a long-term relationship between the U.S. Embassy and the medical community. So in closing, I want to express my thank you for the dedication for all of the instructors, teaching assistants, and participants in advancing your language skills. And I wish everyone a rewarding and enriching learning experience. And now I would like to introduce Mr. ME202 Razak, the Senior Global Health Security Advisor at USAID in Vietnam. Dr. Razak, are you on?
Yes, Adam, I'm here. So thank
Okay,
you.
thank
I'm
you.
with my wife's Zoom.
Okay. All
All
right, well,
right.
over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. And my name is ME202 Razak. I am Senior Global Health Security Advisor of USAID Vietnam. And my background is I'm a medical doctor with epidemiology and then the health policy background. And I have worked in global health for about more than 30 years. And for my colleagues in California, I was at UCLA, and then so I did at both UCLA Medical Center and Harvard Medical. So Harvard UCLA. So enjoy California for me. And I would like to welcome everyone. And then so I have been asked to share some of USAID's overview. So I'm just going to give a very brief overview. But before I do that, what I would like to mention to you is when we are looking at medical English, and it is a little bit more intense than the regular language. Regular English language, all of us have to learn. And then as I'm not a native speaker, and I moved to US when after my medical graduation, I did more training. So what is so important is when we communicate with each other in clinical terms or any kind of health terms, the more precise we can communicate, the better it is. And so I really wish you all a good lesson and then also practice because I'm trying to learn Vietnamese. Vietnamese is the most difficult language I have learned. I speak a lot of language. And then so I think the medical English will be a lot easier, I hope. But I think they're gonna say this is really important. All of us will move forward with this is about communications and how to understand each other. The more precise language that we can use, the easier it is for everyone to understand as the world is getting smaller and our communications need to be better. Language is the key. So now let me just go to the overview of USAID Vietnam. Can I go to the next slide, please? So I just want to make sure that what the United States Agency for International Development is an independent agency of the US government. And we are the premier international development agency, and we are driving catalytic act driving development results, meaning that development and then humanitarian and other issues that we are the ones who are working through this. And USAID operates in over 100 countries, providing assistance in various sectors such as health, education, agriculture, economic, growth, and governance. Like Adam mentioned, this is part of the diplomacy arm of our US government as well. Next slide, please. I'm going to focus on Vietnam. We began partnering with Vietnam in 1991 to help victims of war. And we have since grown our development cooperation significantly to encompass other shared priorities. Our annual budget is about 160 million US dollars. And our top priority is locally led development. Next slide, please. So we have diverse partners, including Vietnamese government at all levels, national, provincial, district, and community, and as well as private sector, universities, research institutions, and local and international organizations such as World Health Organization. And we do have relationship with 12 ministries, including MOH and MART, and then again, like all the key ministries. And USAID is working in 39 of Vietnam's 63 provinces, and we cover all 4 regions, North, Central, South, and Islands. And we're expanding our development cooperation in Mekong Delta as well. Next slide, please. I'm going to just focus on 4 main programmatic offices because we have a lot of support offices like Office of Financial Management and Office of Acquisition, Assistance, and things like that. So the key 4 main programmatic offices are reconciliation and inclusive development, education, economic growth and governance, climate change, energy and environment, and health. Next slide, please. So reconciliation and inclusive development, there are 4 key activities. One is improving the lives of persons with disability and focusing on in 10 provinces heavily sprayed with Agent Orange during the war. And also cleaning up dioxin contamination at Bien Hoa Air Base and looking at Vietnam Wartime Accounting Initiative and focusing on extracting and sequencing DNA from heavily degraded human remains, as well as supporting a Vietnamese lab with the equipment needed to apply new DNA analysis flow. And the 4th part is countering trafficking in persons. Next slide, please. So education, economic growth, and governance team, our objective is to improve cooperation among Vietnamese public, private, and higher education actors. And so that way we can really bring education, economic growth, and employment opportunities and drive necessary reforms to support Vietnam's trajectory to high income status by 2050. And then so both education, economic growth, and governance, we work very closely with the GBN stakeholders. Next slide, please. Climate change, energy, and environment. There are 4 focus. And climate change mitigation and adaptations is about environmental security by reducing greenhouse gas emissions and increasing resilience to climate change. This is also very dependent. All the sectors that offices working in have health aspects. That's why I'm just giving you a brief overview. The other part is conserve biodiversity and countering wildlife trafficking. This is to improve environmental security by increasing Vietnamese leadership in wildlife management and countering conservation crimes. And the third part is reduce environment pollution. And it's to strengthen Vietnam's environment security by addressing pollution. These are challenges in target areas through collective impact approach while demonstrating benefits to public health, employment, and sustainable economic growth. And also, we are looking at the strengthening natural disaster preparedness and response together with the regional actors. Next slide, please. Now in health, we are looking at the three main areas. Ending tuberculosis. It is to support government of Vietnam in its ambitious efforts to end TB by 2035 through robust detection, treatment, and prevention. Second part is ending AIDS. To advance Vietnam's goal of ending AIDS by 2030 by building local ownership of high quality, client-focused HIV prevention and treatment services with funding from President Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Next slide, please. The third one is about strengthening global health security. And we are trying to strengthen Vietnamese effectiveness in preventing, detecting, and responding to emerging infectious disease threats in Vietnam. So Vietnam has been very good in responding to all other diseases, including TB and HIV/AIDS. And you can see that during the COVID-19 pandemic, Vietnam has stepped up and worked very hard to just not only address issues in Vietnam, but also in the region. So we are working very closely with the government of Vietnam and several different ministries to work into how can we make sure that we are preventing the next pandemics, and how can we make sure that we detect sufficiently and timely enough, and then how we really respond timely to and get it under control. So when we're looking at it, we have kind of strengthening health preparedness and response for both national and subnational. And I heard that you have kind of like several provinces coming over. So the key is without the front line, we will not be able to address it. So this is really important that we are looking at surveillance, lab, antimicrobial resistance prevention, biosafety, biosecurity, and risk communications, and from the engagement. And also we are making sure that we are supporting the risk mitigation and management of health threats from animals. And we're also supporting GB and especially Ministry of Health in really increasing and strengthening Vietnamese capacity to detect and report potential public health emergencies required by international health regulations, which Vietnam is a member of. And also the other part that we are newly focusing on is climate change related to One Health. It's about One Health is human, animal, and environmental together. So also, from some of you who are from universities, and then we are supporting One Health workforce to train next generations of multi-sectoral workers through Vietnamese One Health University Network, the VOUM. It's about 26 universities and 18 provinces. And that's the key part of it is a multi-sectorial. So not only just medical students and medical doctors, nurses, other health workers, laboratory, and again, public health, and communications together with the animal health and environmental health workers. And so these are the very brief overview of USAID. And if you have any questions, and we'd be happy to address through the embassy. And please make sure that you communicate with Chan, Do, and then other Chantor and other people. So this is my brief overview of USAID. But as a non-native speaker who moved to United States when I was in kind of my early career, and I can guarantee you that medical English is very critical for me to be effective, not only in America, but also with the global health. I have been to all the continents and working in many countries, and I have been I have tour of duty in Africa, Asia, and then kind of like the US back again. So the better we communicate, the better it is for us to link with each other, learn from each other. Now with telemedicine and telehealth expanding all over the world, I think your language skill will help you, your patients, and then your communities and moving it forward. So thank you very much again for giving us the opportunity to talk, and I'll be happy to answer any kind of the brief questions before I head out. Thank you again, and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Razak, for such a wonderful presentations. And at VidMD, we continue and we hope to continue to nurture our relationship and continue to accomplish our goal together. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the formal part from the US Embassy. And I'd like to tell you 3 stories. Simple, no big deal. 14 years ago, I met a 5th-year medical student from Saigon, and she was in charge of medical English club at Saigon Medical University. And she asked me, how could I become a US doctor? Well, at that time, we start teaching medical English, and she was one of our first students. And later on, she studied US MOE. And as we spoke today, she just become an attending in GI. She just become a US gastroenterologist. And that's 14 years ago. Second story, about 6 or 7 years ago, I met another resident in Vietnam. She had no idea what to do in life. She told me, Dr. Tran, I don't know what to do. Well, at that time, we have some medical English class. She joined us. I'm not sure, and then admin remember the student. But then she went on become a very famous dermatologist online today because with our medical English class, she went to South Korea. She finished her training in South Korea. And now she opened her private dermatologist office in Saigon, Vietnam. Third story, very recent. We went to Africa, Tanzania, 3 months ago. I met a nurse over there and who in the clinic helped us translating local language to English. And she was sent to Italy to study along with the priest and other people. And I asked her, how did you do that? And she told me that becomes a nurse because she went to a medical English class locally at Tanzania. So what are the 3 stories I'm telling you right now? You may not have any idea what you want to do in the future. You may have some goal. You may come from different background. But one thing in common, when you speak the common language in medicine, you will go far. And that's why we're here today. That's why we open this class. That's why we are here to help you. So I hope those stories will continue to become your inspiration because I like to learn more from you. A few years from today, Dr. Helen Tran can tell all the students, this student did this. A few years from today, Dr. Mindel will remember this face. ID number, whatever, 75, 74, had become distances. A few years from today, Dr. Din, his face will look more friendlier because many of you become very successful. Many of you found medical English is interesting. Like Dr. Razak just mentioned, will open your gate. It's a common language we speak. How do we go to Africa? We speak the language that patient there, patient here in California, and patient in Vietnam have in common. Medical English. All right, guys. So that's it. And with that introductions, I'm not sure if Ms. Strang want us to do anything else, but I think anyone's. And before I start the class formally, I like our instructors. Those are your very dedicated teacher, and I cannot tell you how much dedicated they are. Spend a few moments to introduce about themselves. And let's start with Dr. Min Do, which will be your course director today. Dr. Do, please.
Hi, everyone. I just second Dr. Win Trung over here. And you already know that English is the international language. Just one story which I would like to share with you as well. That story is happened 1 year after I'm back from Singapore. I studied a course over there soon after my finished medical school. My English is not great at that time, but at least I can communicate. And what inspired me to practice more, to learn more, is that one day in my hospital back then, a foreign couple came to seek help. And after taking care of them, the husband feel relief and says, I'm so happy that I can find someone to talk to me in English. But the wife said that, yeah, honey, he's a doctor. So at that time, I'm happy that I can communicate with them. But on the other side, I understand the standard. So the international standard that doctor would be the one who can communicate with patients, with anyone in English. That's the standard. So I hoped that the inspiration that I have that time, also I give it to you, inspire you to be able to improve your English, to be able to communicate effectively with your patients, to take better care of them. And also that is no longer something you add to your knowledge, to your skill. It's soon or already a part of the requirement to become a doctor. So that's why we have this course. That's why we here to help you, and hopefully you take a little bit of that and keep improving. Let me give the microphone to other instructor over here to give you some other prep talk to inspire you to start this long and challenging course. Chị Helen, Dr. Helen Tran.
Hello, everyone. So very excited to join you. Dr. Quinzao and I, we pretty much set the script and the agenda for our TAs. So I'm not going to take any more of your time. I know we're eager to get into the course, into the lecture, and then into the practice. So I'm just going to ping it to Dr. Quinzao.
Hi everyone, kính chào các bạn. Very happy to be here. Dr. Helen and I joined about 2 years ago, and we are very impressed at your dedication. And we have also recruited many TAs who are very excited and happy to be working with you. I hope you have a good time chit-chatting. Don't get nervous. They're just like you. Their goal is just for you to feel comfortable talking to people, right? This is not a time to be perfect. This is a time to make mistakes so that we could learn from our mistakes, and then we could improve on it. And so our TA is very excited to work with you, and hopefully we could develop some kind of collaboration, friendships, and things like that. So please do not get nervous. We are not expecting, this is not an interview, right? There's nothing at stake. All you have to do is practice, make mistakes, and then we'll work through it. But thank you for all your dedication to being here.
One more thing, I'd like to introduce Dr. Dinh Nguyen. He was the course director for the Medical English 101. It's kind of a baby class compared to this class, but Dr. Dinh, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I don't like to, I'm sorry. I don't like to speak too much now because I will follow you from up to now until the end of the course. So don't worry about that. I just want to tell you that in our Vietnamese culture, I can say in Vietnamese, we have the ông thiện và ông ác, okay? And Dr. Minh Do is ông thiện, and em is ông ác. So please, okay, please not upset with me because I just make everything go smoothly. Okay, I just keep the housekeeping neatly. The main purpose is for your goal, for your result at the end of the course. Okay, and right now you see I still can see some people still not turn on the camera. And one people still not put the ID number in. And I tell you what, in next 10 minutes, I will remove all those people out of the course. Thank you.
Thank you, anh Dinh. I'm really honored and really happy to have Dr. Dinh Nguyen to help us in this course. Yeah, just when we graduate from the course, just like we graduate from high school, the teacher we remember the most is the strictest one, right? We learned, we grow thanks to the strict teacher. So yeah, I hope that Dr. Dinh-Van Nguyen will help us, help you all grow in this course. All right, so I think without further ado, Dr. Nguyen Trung will start the routine. Today is the opening day, so we have half an hour for the opening ceremony. But from now on, the course structure is short didactic sections, which Dr. Nguyen Trung gonna show you soon. And then the second part, the main part, actually is for you to practice. Go ahead, Dr. Winter.